record this. And I'm going to go ahead and start the Q&A. All right, so I will go ahead and ask, I would say, Josh, since this is your first time as a member, how do you feel about being a Fire Cadet? What is your expectations?
Well, I hope to hear from other small business owners and, learn from their experiences. I have a ton of questions being new, so, it's just absorbing all the information I can. It's my perspective, and as soon as I can, being able to help and contribute back to others.
Awesome, Josh. Okay, now, Josh, this is your turn where you can ask anyone in the group except me, because I'll be the last one. So go ahead and choose whoever you want, and you can ask your question.
Okay, Ralph, what is your business, and how long have you been with FireUp or attending the meetings?
So I've only had a business like less than a year. I do resume writing,
Okay.
mainly focused on federal employment, and I do private sector stuff too. And I've been part of this group less than a year also.
Okay.
So I'm married through Dr. Rob.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you, Ralph. Go ahead, Ralph. You're next.
Sorry, I'm on my. Hey, John. How's everything going with the last update with the contract you guys just won?
It's been going good. I moved out of my previous employer's office. This is my new home office that I'm still kind of starting to build out. And right now the owner of the company is like, he's reviewing the IP purchase agreement. So hopefully that'll be done in like a week or two, but that's going pretty well. I mean, it's been an onslaught of investors lately.
That is awesome, John. Okay, so who is your next person?
Well, I think I've met everyone here except for Josh and Jeremy, and Josh is already gone. So Jeremy, tell us about your business, who you are, and what you do.
Thanks a lot, John. Plants looking good. I love, I did some gardening over the weekend. I love anything with plants and flowers. I like the background already. We're friends already. I'm out here in New Jersey, actually, my wife, Lisa, and I'm a business coach and a sales coach. And right now my focus is actually in the e-commerce sector and online shopping. And we have a focus in the wellness arena. There's a lot of interest, as you can imagine, since the pandemic, for immunity boosting and ways to get access to products with the supply chain issues is coming back really strong right now. And so, we work basically with a US based system so people can actually get their products and not scramble at the grocery store and wonder if something's going to be on the shelf. And I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of that, unfortunately, in the next few weeks as time goes. So we just enjoy helping consumers get better resources, and it's a blast.
Awesome, Jeremy. Thank you. Jeremy, who's your next person?
Let's see. I don't. Rob had a quick, but not a full question, right? Rob Garcia. So, Rob, same. I guess the question. So this is I was a guest at one of the Friday meetings, my first Tuesday. So, Rob, tell me a little bit about you and your business.
Okay. First of all, big welcome to all the newer members. A lot of people think I'm a business coach. I'm actually a business strategist. And so what I do is I teach people business visibility and how to get a lot more recognition and audience building for what they do. I own Shift Advanced Life Design Magazine. We just released our new issue yesterday. I'll drop the link in the chat if Marie's okay with it. It's free to read.
Yes, go for it.
But basically, I just take a person and I help them to get in front of a lot more eyes and get a lot more media interviews. I have a very unusual business model. All right, so it's my turn to ask a question, right, Marie?
Yes.
You have to put somebody on the hot seat. I'll go with Tim, because I don't believe Timothy and I have ever spoken. Timothy, what's your business goal you want to get accomplished? I want a fairly lofty one, not just a small one. I want a fairly lofty business goal for 2022. By January 2022, what do you want to accomplish that's significant?
Raise $5 million. There's lofty for you. We're doing it. You don't know me, but I'm actually in the middle of doing a funding raise, and we're bringing a lot of pieces together. We're bringing our sales and marketing, to get ARR and make things look a lot tighter, put a nice bow on it for the investment community.
Awesome. Thank you, Timothy. All right, who's your next one?
I guess I have to go with James. James came in, I think, late on the last one. You finished that, Mo. I got you right there, man. I had to do that. I saw you did. But take your time. But James Torres, the question I have is, since you came in last time, wasn't understanding 100% of what you do, and what will you be looking to do, in the next couple months as well, or during 2022. Do you have bigger goals there?
Definitely. So what I do is I help business improvement experts increase their brand authority so they can sell courses and other programs with ease. With that being said, I focus my agency on two main approaches, which are press releases. I usually do them in Yahoo because it's a place that everybody knows and trusts, and it's great way to build authority fast. And the other thing that I do is earned media, which I create a client profile and I pitch them to either top publications, podcasts, or TV, depending on, what we agree in the strategy call, right? And we decide what's going to be the project. And right now for 2022, my goal is to stop being an entrepreneur and be more of a CEO. I want to hire more people, and I want to have a system that doesn't depend much on me. Right now I have a solid fulfillment. I'm getting, my prospecting it's getting me appointments. Still needs a little bit of polish to make it more so it goes to a sales team. So that's where I'm focusing on right now. And my goal up to 2022 is to in 2022 be finally free. So I'm using this last month and 2 months and a half to accomplish that.
I like how you distinguish between entrepreneur and CEO. That's different. You want to delegate more, basically, is what you're saying. You'll never stop working as a CEO.
Yeah. So I want to work for my employees instead of working for my clients. My employees will take care of my clients and will keep them happy, and I'll keep my employees happy. And that's kind of how I want to operate, because I want to do more just me focus on doing more PR for the company and be on podcast interviews, being TV, radio, and stuff like that. And I don't have to focus too much on the sales and the day-to-day prospecting. So
I see. Okay, that's clear. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Okay, James, who's your next person?
I think Rick hasn't been asked, right?
Yes.
So Rick, what are you focusing on right now, and what's your next step?
Is he there?
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Kind of forces you to think, Rick.
Yeah. I mean, it's you can answer the question, and for the short term, meaning what do you focus on today, or what do you focus on tomorrow?
Okay, I mean, I guess you can say that. What's your focus right now at this second?
This second. Well, today I had a great conversation with an emerging franchise that wants to grow. They got 5 units. They want to scale to 100 or more. And the owner, the developer of the company, is going through a process of trying to figure out how to do that. What services can we offer that will help him reach that goal of 100 or more locations in less than 5 years. So great conversation. Now I'm trying to steer him to additional conversations so he can learn more about the components of the process that we can provide. And at that point, he can decide for himself. So that's one short term or today thing I'm focused on. And I
Awesome.
will go to James Watson, who if I'm correct, hasn't been asked to respond to a Q&A. I've
That
never
is
met
correct.
James. So what is your business and how long you've been doing it?
Okay, thanks, Rick. And I jumped on a few minutes late. I had another meeting run over, but I am here. So again, I'm James Watson, and I started a company about 4 months ago called Sales Catapult as a fractional VP of sales. And what I do is build and scale sales processes to achieve revenue profitability. What my clients get is an assessment of where they are in terms of their sales strategy, and then a collaborative executive team decision on a statement of work, and then a business plan along with a sales playbook, and then implementing hands-on the way I used to in corporate America, and with some startups, the building of the teams and running all the meetings, establishing the comp plan, helping establish comp plans, quotas, doing ride-alongs, and developing the reps and sales leaders depending on where they are and what is needed. And I've been in sales for over 30 years and done everything from startups to corporate America. And I've helped take a company from 100 million to over 2 billion in ARR, as well as early stage startups into major rounds of funding. So my passion is working with individuals and teams to help them succeed, because that has always been the most gratifying to me.
All right. Well, thank you, James. James, I think I am the last one. You have to ask me a question.
Okay. What I know you are running a lot of different businesses. You're a serial entrepreneur. What would you say is your biggest focus coming, tail into this year and into next year?
In the next year, I'm actually currently focusing on the radio shows because I'm building several radio shows. But for next year, my biggest focus is going to be the real estate development projects, because the company that I'm working with just got like about 1,600 acres of land in Texas, Arizona, and Florida. So I have a big part of bringing and connecting investors for those projects. Especially, I recently connected them to a large investor from Canada. And so that's why they're doing this large projects, and I will be a part of that. So that's going to be my major focus for next year. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, go ahead. Do you have a question?
No, I was just going to say, 'cause I had a long conversation with a really good one with Jessica yesterday, and we got to know each other pretty well. And I was just curious. One thing we didn't really talk about is it seems like she might be involved in those projects, but is she working on those with you as well?
Actually, anyone can be involved with it as long as they, have a meeting with me and kind of talk to them about how it works. So Jessica is actually also have reached out to me, and she's interested in bringing some investors for those projects.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That's our first part of our meeting. So the next part is where we talk about, where we want to talk about a topic that would bring a lot of our knowledge so we can learn from each other. And the topic that I want to talk about is, we are all coming from different states and different locations. And with the way we are structured, I used to do a lot of live events in order to promote the businesses. Now, in your case, if we ever do an online live event, do you picture yourself being a part of it, and what would be your contribution? I'm going to go ahead and start with Dr. Rob. Okay.
So the exact question is
that if we do an online live event,
yeah.
what do you think will be if that is going to be good for us, And what would be your participation if ever you see it that way?
I mean, I would have to, iron out more details and kind of conceptually learn a little bit more about it. But I mean, it sounds like something I would definitely be a part of as a subject matter expert on business visibility or making a high-end media plan.
Okay, and do you see that more of a, better than live event?
Like I said, I'd have to hear more about it conceptually, like
Okay.
how it would be put together, how it would be broadcast, distribution channels, all that stuff.
Okay, all right. How about anyone else in the group who would like to share your thoughts about it? Who would like to volunteer? Because how else I'm gonna assign.
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
If I actually are organizing a live event right now for December 10. It's with a video coach that I'm working with, and he's gonna be the host and I'm gonna be the expert on PR and how to get into Forbes, or how to do your own press release or stuff like around that, like media relations or creating your own stuff. So if I were to be part of an event that was like a Fire Up Connect, that could be my thing of like explaining people how to do your own press release, how like Yahoo can be super effective. You can do it yourself. And
So do you see yourself being a live speaker on the stage, James?
definitely, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? How about you, John?
I don't really have any experience in hosting those types of events, so I don't know.
Okay, so do you see yourself more on, just being like on, on the side where you get to meet people and kind of, talk to them one-on-one?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I've done the events where you join in the little room and you can go to a table, and it's different from a Zoom network meeting.
Okay, so you've not done like a presentation to a large group of people?
Not really, other than like investor pitches, and I mean they all
Okay.
have pretty elaborate streaming setups for those types of
Okay.
events too.
Okay, let me ask Ralph. Ralph, I know you're doing a lot of podcasting. Now, is that something that you see where you're going to be doing, start doing live speaking in a group?
That I don't know. Maybe to advertise my just my skill sets of resumes. But other than that, I am being asked to do one. His name is Jax Young, and he wants me to do a presentation for veterans transitioning for resumes. So probably the closest thing for me doing anything live.
Okay. All right. And Rick, I know you do franchising, and you have a lot of experience on management. What kind of topics would you also bring into some live events if you were chosen to be a speaker?
I mean, other than franchising?
Yes.
Well, I deal with my clients' fear all the time, so I could talk about overcoming fear or something like that.
Okay. Is that pretty normal with the business owners that are having fear with most of your clients?
Oh, throughout the whole process, fear will rise and fall. I mean, they're going to experience it throughout the whole discovery process. I mean, especially as they get closer to pulling the trigger or not.
Okay. I was just curious because, for me, it was never an issue, but I always hear this, that there's always fear. I know James is, well experienced on the sale. James, for you, what would be a topic that would be, well put together for people to attend an event?
Like what's gonna be the overall?
No, I'm talking about James Watson.
Oh.
Sorry, James. Sorry.
So can Can you go with the other James for a second, and then, because I'm just like going through a checkout here, but I'm listening and I can talk as soon as I get out of here.
Okay. So go ahead, James Torres.
Yeah, did you ask for a topic for the overall?
Yeah, what would be the topic that you would be able, aside from the PR, because I know you do PR, and sometimes when you're asked to be a speaker, you have to have some sort of a, a topic that people would like to just listen to in
Okay.
general as a business owner or an entrepreneur.
So, maybe I can even, like, considering that, like, a lot of people here, we have in common that we're veterans, Ralph and Rob. I could talk about also like that. Like I did the jump from going from the active duty to go to corporate, to like leaving my corporate job and now being a full-time entrepreneur, and now shifting to be a CEO. So
the transition from one job to another.
Mindset and like how physical and mental and stuff like that. And if I don't have to talk about PR, I can talk about my journey and how it can relate or help others, the knowledge that I have.
Okay. Well, let me ask Jeremy. Jeremy is a coach. So Jeremy, what do you think would be a good topic for people to attend on a live event?
Yeah, I'm going to just ask the question back so I can get a better scope for all of us. So, what's the goal of the event? What's the audience? What would we be trying to accomplish with the event? I think that would help us.
Okay, so with Fire Up Connect, we always wanted to create a project. And part of what I'm trying to do is understand what you guys are good at in terms of choosing you as a live speaker for some, it could be an online event or it could be a live event. So I'm trying to get an idea where you're at with, the speaking and topics that you would like to talk about.
And is the end goal for more awareness for Fire Up Connect possibly, or is it just to add value to business owners? I'm trying to understand, because then
That's to add value for
figure out
business
the content, right?
Yes, it's the whole point of Fire Up Connect is to create exposure for the business within the community. So that's part of what we're trying to do here.
So it's kind of like an intro of what you would get as part of Fire Up Connect.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, gotcha. I agree with you that the topics need to be kind of how we're wired, how we got to where we are, how we, not necessarily advertisement or just a pitch on kind of what we're doing now, but what makes us up, what makes us part of that entrepreneurial segment. So one of my favorite speaking topics that I coach on all the time is the mindset of winners. We're all humans, what sets up, what are the traits, what makes an Olympic gold medalist versus someone who doesn't make the Olympic team? They're both people. It's up here. And what are some things that winners do that non-winners don't do? And so I think that would be a great topic for
I actually love that. That's what do you guys think? That was pretty cool, huh? Mindset for winners. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the winning mindset. Yep.
All right. I'm gonna go ask Timothy. What do you think? Please unmute.
So I'm sort of in the same mindset as John. I'm not a one guy on stage type of person, but I like the meet and greets. If it was a live event, being out there right at this before show, being out there greeting people, getting to know who people are, panel discussions as well. And a topic that I think would be great as well is I get this because through my career in my staffing business also, and we do software development projects. I help a lot of people who are actually getting started, and their question is, and they still have their day jobs and they're trying to start a business. And they're like, well, how do you, Tim, I know you're doing like 3 different projects at once or 4 different, how do you handle stress? How do you juggle? Where's your work-life balance? And so that would be a good topic for discussion for me.
So are you more like a workshop kind of a, event for you?
Not really, never done one.
Okay. All right. Let me go to Josh Elliott. I know that this is your first time and I don't know much about you yet. What is your comfort level in terms of being part of a live event? Please unmute.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I probably would, prefer a more background role. You know, I am new to all this, like I said, but my experience, you know, if given the right time and preparation to be able to pull something together, you know, I'm a process guy, so I'm able to quickly absorb a process and then streamline it. And you know, mixing that with choosing the right tools from a technology perspective. I didn't mention my business. I'm more in IT consulting, so helping small businesses choose the right technologies and the right process with integrations is where I focus in on.
So you're more a one-on-one kind of a.
Yeah, you know, maybe giving an example of, you know, how a process can be changed, right? Not being so focused on, you know, the nitty gritty of the operations team and what they're doing, you know, and opening people's eyes to what transformation is possible. You know, they may think that it has to be done a specific way, but, you know, maybe that's something that I could bring, you know, just to kind of reveal something to the group.
Awesome.
Not sure.
So if we're planning, for example, an event, you're talking about you being a part of making sure that the technology set up for the live event, you can be a part of that.
Technology and process.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Good to know. James, you're
Yes,
last.
ma'am.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So first of all, going back on like what Tim's goals were to get $5 million in funding, that's my goal too, is to help Tim get $5 million in funding. And that's kind of an inside joke, but he'll appreciate it. Because he and I have actually been having a lot of conversations, and he's a great guy. And he's at that stage right now where, you know, we're considering maybe working together. But to the other question about my level of wanting to be involved, I mean, that's what I do, and I've done a lot of it, and I want to be front and center and be able to, you know, help deliver a messaging, you know, that's topical, but also really includes everyone, you know, that's here, for example, because I know we've got like sales coaches, which, you know, are a little different than what I do as a sales consultant, because I'm like down in the weeds, whereas they're kind of high level and will quarterback the thing. But I think that there's a place for everything, including like what was just being discussed about process and systems. And even if one person's doing the presenting, there's a way to tie that all in so that it really is about, you know, you kind of weave everyone into it. And so then it comes down to, you know, do you come up with a topic that allows you to do that? And I think there's a couple that do that. One is like the small to mid-sized business ecosystem. If you're talking about, you know, who's in it, and, you know, I think most of us are in a small to mid-sized business kind of category. And then who are all the players that are involved with that? Number one. The other is one that I just did a podcast on, which is called The Startup Paradigm. And that's about kind of the challenges that a lot of startups face. And I think a lot, you know, people that are in these groups so far, from what I've gathered, are in that phase. And so I think that there can be a lot of education, not just from the sales side, but from IT, from HR, from marketing, you name it. And then, you know, there could be topics like scaling sales and profitability, but that's a little more myopic. So if it's keeping general to be able to kind of involve everyone and add a lot of value, then I think some of those other topics would be good.
Okay. All right. So here's why I brought that up, because, you know, every year I do a Fire Up Live seminar. And with you being a part of Fire Up Connect, I wanted to see if you guys are interested in participating on a Fire Up Live seminar that I would be putting it for next year. Because this year I wasn't able to pull it off because the theater that we were trying to secure had a lot of COVID cases, and they couldn't give me a permission to open up that theater. But for next year, I'm actually planning another one. And I'm hoping that if you are interested in being a part of it, let me know, send me a chat or a message, and I can get you in the part of when we start discussing, you know, and planning of that event. James, it looks like you have a lot of experience. I definitely would like to have a one-on-one meeting with you on that one and see how you wanted to, what you're envisioning on the whole thing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you so much. That is really kind of like my short, you know, expertise, you know, section. So we're going to move on to the next one. I'd like to go ahead and talk about, you know, 1 minute of your either success story, challenges, or specific goal that you want to accomplish. So for Josh, because this is his first time, I'm gonna go ahead and start with Dr. Rob. Dr. Rob, sorry, I keep picking on you because you already know the process. So what would you like to share for this section?
Yeah, I guess I just want to share a couple of wins. My interview with Ann Carden got released, and it was really, really high quality. If you haven't met Ann Carden, she's a business coach, more higher end business coach, and we just had an incredible interview, one of the better ones I've ever had. And then I was also released on Nayurka Castanada's TV show, so I'm going to be promoting that on Thursday. Been a very, very busy week, and then I got a 92 on my PT test, so life's good.
Awesome. And by the way, I wanted to compliment you with your magazine. The latest magazine you put it out, it was beautiful, by the way. Thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. Okay, let's move on to John. John, it looks like I'm interested in what's going on with you.
Well, so I'm thinking here. So for I'll talk about a challenge right now. So we have to like jumpstart our sales now that we have a real budget. So I've been on the phone all day today and all day yesterday trying to meet like kind of like I want to call it like outsourced SDR type firms where basically they'll provide us with leads. My co-founder's been talking to me throughout this entire meeting about maybe hiring a foreign salesperson because we found this thing called OpenPass or Overpass. It's interesting. So I don't know. I've been kind of overwhelmed, but in a good way though. So yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And for all of you, if there's any specific challenge that's being shared, please give your feedback or direct message to the person that's sharing their challenges. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. I'm going to go ahead with Ralph.
So I'll start with wins. Just got 3 customers this past 2 weeks. So working on their resumes. So it's little chunk change coming in. Challenge. This with Dr. Rob's advice, he told me to put my book on Amazon, my leadership book, and I still haven't put the trigger on that. So I guess it's a fear thing. I don't know. Maybe I just got to do it. Sorry, Dr. Rob.
Rick might help you with that fear. Okay.
And something out of the scope is I wrote a bio for Art Mangobot. Me and Dr. Rob knows that we served with him too, and he asked me to do his bio for him. And he's a real estate agent down there in San Diego.
Awesome. All right. Let's move on to Rick.
Oh, a couple of challenges are really just, I've got 2 clients at the 1-inch line before signing their franchise agreements, and you really can't push or pull them. So it's how to deftly handle that situation and get it done.
All right. Let's go to James.
Well, which James?
James Torres, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this starts being super confusing. Everybody should call me Fu.
Okay, Fu.
Call me Fu. Okay, I don't know why I didn't say it in the beginning. I should have said it, but Fu, F-O, that's right there, Fu. Anyway, so a win. I have my biggest client. I'm like at the 1-inch line right now too. He agreed with it verbally. No, he's kind of like, can I do like split payment or not? And then I'm like on that conversation, right? Like he wants it. He thinks the price is fair. He's just trying to see he's gonna pay me. The thing is, he already has paid me before $10,000. Now it's just gonna be a $20,000 one. So it's like it's gonna happen. It's just like need to work that. So that's gonna be good. That's great. That my biggest clients is looking for a even bigger package. So I secure him on Wall Street Journal, and now he's looking to go to New York Times and USA Today.
Awesome.
So That's what we're discussing. Um, and um, and then the challenge I would say that would be like the process that I'm in, like hiring the right person or the right agency or like the right having the right team, right? So like I don't want to, I'm have money coming in, but it's not like I have money to blow and experiment much more than I have experiment to this point. So I have that challenge of like making sure that the money that I'm putting on, it's gonna be actual like beneficial and it's gonna help me grow. And it's gotta be people that would stay and grow in my company. So
All right, there's a good ROI. Okay, let's go to Jeremy.
Awesome. I kind of have one of each too. I mentioned on the Friday meeting when I was on a couple weeks ago, we had a chance to get an interview for an article, and they just sent me the actual hard copy. I only had digital last time, so it's really cool to kind of get that in the mail yesterday and see how we've helped families build income from an e-commerce operation. That's been cool. And today I got some news that presents the challenge, which is, we're really concerned about the inflation and the supply chain issues. I don't think we've really even scratched the surface. And we saw some news internally today. We're in 20 countries, because we kind of have a bird's eye view, and really think that we're going to start seeing some serious shortages again. Maybe kind of like when the pandemic started. I don't have a crystal ball, but we're concerned about it. And so for us, we're in a good spot. We have a US based supply chain. When the pandemic first hit, we were able to fill those needs. People couldn't find things, and we had them. And so that was a time in our business where it was a huge onboarding of new shoppers. And I foresee that coming again. And so the challenge in that is, I guess, one of scale is, we work well to a certain level of business, but once it's like everybody wants to get in because they can't find stuff at the grocery store, the challenge is having enough leaders, having enough folks to onboard the new customers. So that's kind of the challenge right now, is getting ahead of what, and I know it's a little bit of a doom and gloom message, but the good news is we have a solution. So I love to help people. We just want to figure out how to help the most people we can, as possibly these supply chain issues become pretty serious pretty soon.
Awesome, Jeremy. Thank you so much. That's awesome. All right, Timothy.
So I think there's always challenges and there's always successes. Successes are, one of the successes I had recently was signing on in my software development side of the business, bringing on a couple more projects that are going to be long-term and putting in a couple contractors. There's always great successes on that side. And on the flip side, for my staffing firm, is my online property management software, which some of the guys like Rob and Josh may not know that I've been doing. It's a live product. It's been up and running for several years, but we've been building it out. And, the challenge is always, as I mentioned earlier, raising funds. James and I are talking about certain, potentials of working together, and it's been great working with James because he's very flexible. I'm flexible. That's where I think I said earlier, the challenges and successes are, starting to come together the more through Connect here, through Fire Connect, been meeting some great people, and, and that's not a challenge, that's a success.
Okay, all right, and Josh.
Should be faster on that unmute. I think my biggest challenge is being able to communicate, more fluidly and efficiently about what I sell. Packaging my services in a way that's easily understood, and that's my big challenge right now. Still working on it.
Awesome. James Watson.
Okay, I just have to get to that mute button. I think kind of along the vein of what the other James, or Fu, I'll call him Fu from here on out, was saying are similar challenges that I face. It's like, where do you, I've spent a bunch of money when I started my business, and joined a lot of networking groups and gone a lot of different directions. And I think the biggest is, staying focused, and then also I'm starting to try to evaluate and create spreadsheets of my networking groups, the people that are in my ecosystem that I'm working with, so I can kind of keep score of what I'm doing for them and vice versa, how I'm working with them and can help them out. But then same thing with the networking groups and really evaluating things. So I'm at that stage. And then the other side of it is, obviously getting business, which I oddly enough, I followed the process that I was kind of coached to do with the group that I joined, which is to really focus on building your network up, a strong network, and those relationships that are going to create the foundation for the future, as opposed to trying to, cherry pick and just get quick deals. And so that's challenging, is to stay disciplined to that. But I know that that's the right thing to do.
Awesome. Wow. Well, thank you. That was very enlightening in regards to everybody's position, where they're at with the business and the challenges and success. And congratulations to some of you that have, reached some of your goals. This part, we have 50 minutes left, and I wanted to take this opportunity for us to brainstorm and really figure out where is the connection and what are the opportunities that we can work with. Based on what you heard today and from everybody's, information, where do you see opportunity, and where is the right connection for you in this group? I'm going to start again with Dr. Rob. Dr. Rob, go for it.
Right off the bat, Fu, I just landed a multi-5-figure client, and I need to bring you on for some of this and hire you. So I'm gonna be throwing some zeros at you, buddy. We had a great call a few weeks ago, Marie, and I have to thank you. This guy is on point with what he does. And what's cool is that although we're both in the PR field, we're not direct competitors because we offer different types of services. And so there's a lot of collaboration here. So we will chat very soon.
That's awesome. James, we need to have that meeting too. Two. I still need to have that one-on-one meeting with you, okay? All right, let's move on. John, what about you? With your challenges and everybody else here, where do you see opportunities and collaboration? John Simmons.
Well, I'm trying to collaborate with like half the people in this room, and unfortunately, I'm kind of overwhelmed. So I just messaged Timothy. I still owe you those sales descriptions. So yeah, I'm already trying to collaborate with a lot of people in here. So
that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. All right, Rick, I know I think you've met a lot of new people here today, right? And so what do you see?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to reach out to Ralph. Not for my own, I'm not for my resume, but within franchising, there are tremendous opportunities and benefits for veterans. And perhaps Ralph may meet potential clients who would rather do something on their own, be their own boss, find that and achieve that independence. So we could work something out there. So Ralph, I'll reach out to you.
Love that. All right. Ralph, what do you think about that?
That'd be awesome.
Okay, and for you, what else do you see aside from Rick mentioning business for you?
No, I know a lot of veterans when they transition out, they're done with the 9-to-5 type schedule, or in the military, so 24/7, right? So they just want to be their own boss. They're tired of taking orders. So there's a lot of those guys that I do meet. So that might actually work out.
Okay, and any of these people in this group, do you see any potential?
Well, I've already worked with Rob, so with Rick Morgan, going back to Rick Morgan, it's just about the fear stuff, just pulling the trigger and just going for it. And awesome. I know Dr. with that too, so.
Okay, perfect. Jeremy, I know you're very widely connected. What do you see opportunities here?
Yeah, I agree with just kind of the last thread that we talked about. I think there's, entrepreneurship, CEO, whatever you want to call it, can be a lonely place, right? The buck stops with us. And so I think just the collaboration in general, there's direct business that will come, and a few were mentioned, but I like that the group can have a synergy where, we're networking, we're facing some of the similar challenges, even though our businesses are different. And so just to have other business leaders to bounce things off of, to just be that encouragement to work on limiting beliefs or fears. Or I saw I think Rob put it in the chat a while ago, action solves everything. You take action, right? So I like that. I like that there's a collaborative spirit. I'm still getting to know everybody. I took a lot of notes, so I don't think I have a direct like, hey, I want to work with this one just yet, but I have reached out to a few. I know Tim and I trying to get on the calendar for a call, and so I know some business will develop. But I think we're all more productive and can be more productive with taking care of the mental health side of it, the energy, the productivity that comes from working with other like-minded leaders.
Yeah, you guys are very powerful. Timothy, what about you? Opportunities.
So James and I are chatting. Jeremy and I are trying to get on each other's schedule, and that's a discovery call, I think, most likely. John and I connected, so there was some opportunities there that we're trying to work together, trying to discuss a little bit about resources and where he's at with going on his sales adventure. I know James is a good resource too, as well. And I think the connection though right now, the new one is Fu and I just mentioned Fu already. We have something to talk about too, because PR and marketing is the next stage of what we're going to be doing, with sales, of course. And but the new one, Rob, I don't know exactly everything yet. I'm going to take a look at your eMag, and then Ralph, I got you some info about a lead at least. I'm not sure if he connected with you or not. And then Josh, since he's in the IT end and he's got a really interesting model, and I've worked in high tech staffing for over 20 years. And I think there's a great opportunity there for his as an end service to his clients, or if he's expanding resources when he's inside a client, or even I might have clients that just need individual tech consulting, because I use local resources and offshore resources all the time. So, love to learn more about what you're doing. We can share clients or work to get, and partner.
Love that. Love that. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah. Very excited to talk to Timothy. Got your message, and I'll be reaching out for sure. That's a great opportunity to understand what you've done, your experience there, and
Yeah, this
great.
is the time where you get to really discover everybody. James, your thoughts?
I can see how.
James Watson, I'm sorry.
You got to start calling him Fu.
I know, I was gonna call him Fu.
I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah, a lot of what everyone is saying, it resonates. And I think that really also kind of is, what I've focused on, and it's opened my eyes up that, I used to have like a narrow view of who can I work with, and they don't fall into this category. But I think everyone here kind of falls somewhere into that ecosystem, and really getting to understand the business and what to look out for. Everyone can use other people as resources for their own clients and prospects, even if, like may not be right for someone right away, but someone else like Josh, on the tech side, if they need help in that area, he might be the initial person. Well, that's someone that I would want to understand his business better so that I can refer him in. And then, that's going to help him and keep me front and center. But then also, of course, that's the right thing to do for the prospective client. And they don't forget about that. And so I think that's all really important. So I really look forward to kind of getting to know everyone better, that's in the group.
Okay, thank you. Jifu, your turn. I have to get used to that name.
Yeah. I should have probably said it before, because that's how everybody calls me in like Puerto Rico and stuff. Like growing up, that was kind of like became my last name, or became my nickname, even though it's my last name. It's just I have 2-word last name, and everybody just Fu.
Okay.
Easy. But for
Opportunities.
for me, for opportunities, I would say I think everybody that has pointed at me, like obviously, so because like with Dr. Rob for sure, definitely will schedule a call. Like we have each other on Facebook, so we can message each other out pretty easy. And then I can definitely talk with Timothy to like talk about or talk about, he told me about like hiring and stuff, and then also like with Jeremy like about how to like build a sales team or something like that. That could be a good thing. So yeah, I see collaboration, possible collaborations here.
Okay. All right. Make sure you put your information on the chat so everybody can save it just in case they try to look for it. But you know, you can always come to me and I can connect you to whoever you need to connect to. I'm almost like a telephone directory, if you can say that. Anyway, but I just wanted to get feedback. We have 5 minutes feedback on this whole meeting. And again, I appreciate your time because 1 hour is really valuable for all of us. But I hope that in this 1 hour, you have really made some great connections. Again, you know, we were looking for building a relationship, understanding how you communicate and your skills on the expert side of it, and really creating some sort of a project. So I'm gonna try to get feedback from Josh. Josh, since this is your first meeting with us as a member, what do you think about the experience?
Yeah, still very impressed. You know, knowing there's a community out there, you know, I don't have to do it alone. And, you know, there's, you know, I've been on my own for the past month or two, but, you know, just trying to learn and absorb, but this is different, right? This is actual, you know, people communicating about their challenges and successes and yeah, reaching out and helping each other. So very excited about that.
Yes. All right. Anyone else who wants to give me feedback?
So Marie, how do you want me to connect with you? Are you
Yes,
like through text? Are you gonna send me like, do you have a link, calendar link or something you can send me to the text?
I'll send you an email. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. Jeremy, you want to say something?
Yeah, just a quick question as a newer person, just understanding what's here is, do you have or have you thought of, you know, like a private Facebook group just for this group? So during the week, if there's a challenge or a celebratory moment, I know we use that in our teams for keeping connected in between the meetings. I don't know if it would.
Yes, we have a
Thought of that or have.
Facebook group. We have a Facebook page and we have a Facebook group. We call it Fire Up Connect official group. And so if you're not a member of that, definitely come in there. And as a member, we definitely want you to be a part of it. And it looks like I want to make sure that we're not missing anything on your chat. Let me just make sure that we are. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of good information that was given out there. So make sure you save your chat. Any other feedback from the members? No? Okay. Well, again, I totally appreciate you and make sure that you connect. And if you have any questions, make sure you connect with me. I want to make sure that we can promote you. Make sure that also your profile is completed, because once you complete that with your profile, your testimonials and video, you know, your featured video, we will make an announcement of your being a member of Fire Up Connect. And then we also wanted to schedule you for the radio show interview because you are a member of Fire Up Connect. But I need you guys to complete your profile. If it's not completed, I cannot make any announcement. I cannot, you know, promote you because there's no information. So I need to make sure you have that in there. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions from?
I was just gonna say, I finally got onto my computer, so I did get into the chat and I uploaded my information in there, and then I'm saving everyone else's as well so that I can try to connect with people.
Okay, great. And let's also make sure that you put it on your calendar that we have meetings on Fridays at 11. And let's support that because I get a lot of people from, you know, from different dates, especially now that I have my campaign going on. So I was supposed to get 3 people today, but I guess they're going to move on to the Friday. So hopefully you get to meet all of them too. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much, everybody. Make sure that you connect with everyone whoever said it, because it's recorded. All right. So I can hear what you said and everybody can hear it. So make sure you follow up and be accountable on what you said you were going to do. Sounds good? All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Here,
Thank
everybody.
you.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.